Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Eric Eichhoff, and I have the pleasure of serving as the Associate Director for Alumni Relations at John Carroll University. Thank you for joining this evening for our next installment of A.C.E.S, the Alumni Continuing Education Series. A.C.E.S was established in the spring of 2013 by the Office of Alumni Relations in the spirit of lifelong learning. The program offers enrichment opportunities for our alumni and friends through the expertise of members of the JCU administration, faculty, alumni, and friend community. Over the past year, we've heard from experts on ethics and leadership, recent advances in autism research, youth sports, social justice, disruptive technology, space exploration, and the women's suffrage movement, just to name a few. Tonight, we'll explore Italian cooking, wine, and culture. Before I introduce our featured guest, I want to share a few housekeeping items. We will use two different methods for questions, which is a little different than what we've done previously. First, you can always use the chat feature for your questions. Questions entered in the chat will be asked by me to our guest during the demonstration and tasting, or saved to the end, whichever is appropriate. Additionally, since we have a smaller group, we'll also allow you to ask your questions to Marco at the end of the program. Just use the raise your hand feature in Zoom, and I will unmute you so you can ask your question. Finally, as I mentioned, the cooking portion of this program is a demonstration. However, you are more than welcome to try to cook along with Marco as you wish. Marco will be moving through the recipes relatively quickly. At the conclusion of tonight's program, I will send to you the raw Zoom recording information so you can watch it tonight if you wish. We'll also put the more edited version on YouTube, and I'll make sure that you all get that as well. Right now, I would like to introduce Gina D'Alessandro from the class of 1979, who was instrumental in helping make this program happen. Gina has served on the Cleveland Alumni Chapter Board and is currently a member of the JCU Alumni Association Board. We are incredibly fortunate to have Gina and her husband, Ray, who is also an alumnus, in our alumni community. Gina is going to briefly talk about how she connected with Marco. Gina, it's great to see you tonight. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you. Ciao, everyone. We're so excited to have Marco, who's in Milan, Italy tonight in a beautiful modern kitchen. I've been working with Marco over the years. Met him actually when he was doing a Sicilian wine dinner at a country club, Avalon Country Club. And from there, I happened to go up to him afterwards and ask him about the fact that we were going to be traveling to Sicily, meeting my husband's family. And I said, Marco, do you think you can guide us and help us through our travels? Because I'm sure those relatives are not going to entertain us for the whole 2 weeks. So from there, I really got to know Marco because he, in addition to being a wine ambassador for the Italian selection, he also in the past was a writer for many books, which Eric will share. But he started Niche Italy about 6 years ago. And so that's how we really got to know Marco. He took us on the first trip all over Sicily, and we were able to also, he did research, we're able to meet our relatives in the towns where our grandparents were born. So just phenomenal person and just great customer service. And we've enjoyed working together. And most recently, I've been working with him on the Italian Selection, which is a brand new company. And we'll tell you more about that tonight. So thank you again for joining us.
Thanks, Gina. And thanks again for your help tonight with setting this up. Really appreciate it. It's now my pleasure to introduce tonight's featured speaker. Marco Scapagnini is an expert tour operator and a food and wine journalist. Marco features on authentic Italian regional specialties. He began his career in Italy with the Mondiori editorial group, writing 23 guidebooks on travel and the food and wine of Italy. He then became an Italian specialist for DK Guides, published in London under the names of Eyewitness Guides, where he discovered and reviewed hidden spots in Italy, including charming inns, secluded restaurants, and small and authentic food and wine stores. He spent the last decade between Italy, especially Sicily, and the United States, consulting and also writing for top food and travel magazines such as CDG, the in-flight magazine of a major European airline. And his most recent and exciting adventure is, as Gina mentioned, the Italian Selection, telling the stories of a group of virtuous, small family-owned Italian wineries recently introduced into the US market. Marco is definitely an enthusiastic ambassador of authentic Italian food, wine, culture, and tourism. Ciao, Marco. It's great to see you this evening. Thank you so much for spending your evening with us. I know it's late in Italy, and we are glad to see you. How are you doing today?
Ciao Eric, thank you for having me today. Actually, I'm in Milan because I have a board meeting for the Italian selection, which the other members are in Milan, so I came here. And even if I was born in Naples and spent most of my life between Sicily and Rome, Milan was part of my life as well, because it's where I did my college, university, and I started working at the Mondadori editorial publishing group as a journalist. So I'm a piece of my heart is also in Milan. And so that's why I asked a friend of mine, my best friend, Mario, can you borrow your kitchen to me? Because I need to do this. And I said, Marco, why not? Because I'm not in Milan, so I can give you the key of my house. You can do whatever you want. That's what I did. And as you can see, I prepare all the ingredients here in front of you for the two recipes that we're going to do tonight. And but obviously, I'm very happy that we are featuring two of our best wines that are from Sardinia. So, and we are lucky also that we have the producer who's actually, while we are talking, is in a beautiful restaurant in Sardinia receiving an important award to his wines. So I don't know if Alberto is connected or is on the stage receiving the award.
Hello everyone, ciao Marco. Yes, I am connected, and I ask everyone, sorry if there is some noise, but as Marco said, I am in an important restaurant right now because we have to receive an important award that we won with our wine production. So I'm waiting. I'm waiting them to call me to receive this award, but I'm here with you in this Zoom conference because I really wanted to be present. So Marco
and Alberto. So first of all, I would like to thank you for the great wines that you are doing. You know, when I came and visit you, I immediately fell in love with your family and with your commitment to the quality and the environment, because you are located probably in one of the most beautiful islands of the Mediterranean Sea, and you produce wine in a corner of the island where usually it's very difficult to grow Vermentino and Cannonau because they are originally coming from another area of Sardinia. So we can consider you heroic viticulture people. So you really doing something special. I don't know if it's a good time, if you are not on the stage yet to receive the award, but if you can just briefly introduce your production and the first wine that we are drinking, which is the Vermentino.
Of course, Marco. So our winery, our wine company, is run from my family. So we produce wine in our family. So we are me, my father, my mother, and my little sister, who she's 16 years old, almost 17, and we produce wines from authentic and historical Sardinian grape varieties. So the ones we are tasting today are the Vermentino and the Cannonau. The Vermentino Veor vintage 2020, which is
actually
really
is 19 in the US. It's still 19.
2019,
20.
sorry.
No, because you just shipped the 20, but it's still on the water, so we still have the 19 to enjoy.
Perfect. If it is 2019, it's even better. So a little bit more aging in the bottle is just really good for the wine. So the Veor Vermentino is our most fresh and fruity white wine from Vermentino grape, and we produce the Vermentino grapes for this Veor wine on volcanic soil. So our vineyards are under an old volcano where Marco has been during the last year, and we had the opportunity together to walk around our vineyard and spend some days together in our estates. I think Marco, we spent really good moments with our family and with you, and for Carnival we also had the opportunity to cook some special Carnival sweets. You remember?
Yes, I remember, and it was fantastic because all your family was involved, even your girlfriend that I think is there with you today, and she's a great cook. So you're very lucky.
Yes, of course.
And Alberto, I really love the fact that your Vermentino is not like the typical just fresh, crisp Vermentino from Gallura, which goes very well with mostly with seafood and shellfish, but is a Vermentino that has a body, has a character, has a huge minerality. So it's a Vermentino which is aging a lot very well in the barrel. So it's a very different Vermentino from the typical one from the northeast of Sardinia. That's why I fell in love with this wine.
Sorry, Marco, why?
No, I say that your Vermentino is completely different from the average Vermentino that you can find in the market from Sardinia, which usually goes very well only with the shellfish and seafood. Your Vermentino has a body, has a character, has a determination in the taste, so can go very well also with the pesto like I'm doing tonight, or even with say with chicken, not only with seafood. So it's absolutely different and fantastic. It can age in the bottle very well.
Yes, I agree. But what I really love about our Vermentino, and also okay, I had a call. Sorry, I was saying what I really love about our Vermentino and also other Vermentinos from Sardinia is the minerality, the sapidity. Sapidity, I mean the salt flavor in the mouth, because we are our vineyards are really close to the sea, and also the special aromas that Vermentino can create in the mouth. You know what I mean, Marco?
No, I know exactly because I'm drinking it. So, and I hope you guys are also drinking the Vermentino. Then you will pair with the food that we are preparing, but also drinking the Vermentino by itself is great. So I'm drinking actually at room temperature because I think it's for a white wine at room temperature, you can feel all the aromatic and the minerality of the wine. So I think that Alberto, you are ready. Okay. I think that Alberto, you are ready to get the award, no?
Yeah. Look, I'm gonna switch the camera.
Yes.
They are calling the winemakers right now. We are
okay.
in a big swimming pool, and yes, I think they are calling the winemakers right now, the wine sellers, producers.
Okay, so do you want to say something about the Canonau now, or you want me to go ahead with the recipe with the Vermentino and then tell something about the Canonau later?
I think later, Marco, because I'm reading my name on the screen right there. So I think I have to go.
So good luck for the award. If you can put yourself mute, so we don't hear. I mean, we would love to hear your when you are awarded, but it's better for now to put it mute, and then we're gonna talk later for the Canonau. Okay, Alberto?
Thank you very much. See you later.
Grazie, grazie. Eric.
Yep.
Eric,
Yes.
ciao.
Ciao.
Okay. So, do you think I can start with the first recipe?
I think we'd love to see that.
Okay. So, again, I want to thank Alberto that was able to introduce his wine and the Vermentino while he was awarded on this important ceremony. And I was thinking today to prepare something very Mediterranean, and that's why here you can see I have all the ingredients also for the cacio e pepe that we're going to do later. But I personally invented this recipe that we are talking, that we are making tonight. The first one that goes with the Vermentino, which is called Mediterranean pesto, because the ingredients are fresh arugula. We have oranges, lemon, a little bit of garlic, which this is a garlic from the province of Ferrara, Voghera, which is a DOP. So DOP means that is the one of the best garlic that we have in Italy. As you can see, it's very red inside, so it's considered red garlic. And we put some capers that we soaked in water for at least 2 hours. They are capers from Pantelleria in Sicily. Peeled almonds. Then the quantity, if you want, I can tell you now, but in Italy, usually we cook with the view, but I can send you the recipe with all the quantities.
We sent the recipes. Marco,
Yeah?
we sent the recipes ahead.
Okay, okay. And then a breadcrumb that we're gonna brown in the pan, and Parmigiano cheese. So here we have both Parmigiano that goes with this recipe and the pecorino that goes with the cacio e pepe. Okay, but we start now, and for making this pesto, we need to obviously wash your hands before. And as I don't like to use gloves, so it's better to wash very well your hands. And you need to chop. I like also to use a very small knife. I don't like the big knives. And you just need to chop the arugula manually like this. What I did in the meantime, I also put the water on the convection. I usually have the fire, but Mario is an American KitchenAid, so he has a convection oven or whatever. So I put a little bit in advance the pasta water. Okay, maybe I remove this. Gina, can you see well what I'm doing?
Yes, we can see.
Okay, so I'm
chopping it pretty fine.
Yes, exactly. If you put the arugula in a blender, then it's losing most of the flavor because it goes away with the juice, and you lose most of the flavor of the arugula. So it's much better to work the arugula in the way I'm doing it. So I know maybe it takes a little bit more time, but it's preserving. And then it's also nice to have at the end the arugula, I mean, chopped very, very thin, but still not like a cream, like blended too much. Okay, and then you can continue to do this until you find the way to make it like when you do the parsley, no? Imagine when you chop the parsley to put on a dish. So it has to be the same kind of thickness. Okay, this is pretty good. Then you can put this aside. And now you need to work on the other ingredients, which are the capers. In the meantime, this arugula we can put in a bowl, like this one. Very beautiful. It's from Vietri. I have the same in my house, so Gina can confirm. The one in Salinas.
Beautiful pasta, pottery.
They are coming from the Amalfi Coast.
They actually sell that here in Little Italy and on Chagrin Boulevard at the La Bella Vita. Sells that pottery, Marco.
Fantastic.
Now, when I mentioned that,
Okay, so
citrus pesto to some people here. A lot of people have never heard of it. So did you say you created this or your wife created this
Yes, no,
recipe?
I did. This one is
Yeah.
my recipe.
Oh,
Okay.
love it.
And then you can take the capers. I'm just like draining in a little strainer, this one, and remove. Okay, because obviously the capers are salty, so you need to put in. You need to put in a bowl for about 2 hours. In this way, they are releasing most of the salt, and then put a little bit of water again. So, and now what you need to do, you need to chop the capers in the same way. So, always with a small knife. You can use also, if you like, you can use we say half moon, mezzaluna, but so those are my instruments. This is even smaller. This is the one that I usually use for the almonds. Okay, so in this way you can create very small pieces of capers. I know that some of you is thinking now, but if you put everything in the blender, it's not the same. I don't know why, but the taste is not the same. It's becoming like too thin, too like a cream, and is losing the consistency of what is going. So the pesto originally never goes in the blender. So the pesto should be chopped by hand or put in a mortar. And when it's the typical pesto genovese, you can put it in the mortar and doing the pushing with the. Come si chiama il pestello? How do you call in English, Gina? When you put in the mortar, so the.
Oh, yeah, we still, same thing in the mortar.
Okay. Yeah, but
I know what you mean though. If you chopped it in the
tool,
blender, it would get more
yeah,
pasty.
the little tool for crushing the things in the mortar. What do you call in English?
Pesto, Marco.
Pesto, bravo.
Yeah, pestle mortar. Mhm.
Thank you. Okay, so we are.
Yeah, thank you from the rallies.
Okay. Now you know I'm good, but sometimes I miss some technical words. So thank you for helping me. Okay, we are almost ready with the capers. As you see, I chopped very thin. Again, if you have like the A.C.E.S half moon, you can use it, but you know, this way it's perfect. Okay, and now we can put this in the together with the arugula. Okay, and now what you can do, you can start doing another thing that takes a little bit of time, but we have to grate the almonds inside. So take the almonds and you really grate like it was a Parmesan cheese. And the almonds are typical from southern Italy. You can find almonds everywhere, but like they're typical from Sicily. And these one are just white almonds, so peeled. And I would say I'm putting like about 20 inside. And I know it seems a little bit long, the procedure, but still it's the best to do manually this way. Okay, so it's coming.
Marco, what size grater are you using? Are you using something that's pretty thick, or are you shaving them pretty thin? Okay. Medium. Thank you.
Yes. Good.
Amazing you don't cut your fingers.
Don't say it before he's done.
It's that's a skill. I know my fingers are big like sausages, so just in case it's not good for vegetarian.
Notice your oranges were so much bigger than ours too, and the lemons.
Yes, and I can bet that the lemon are for sure local, because you know that lemons are growing 2 times. One is in the winter time and one is in the summer time. So that's the time. It's one of the only citrus tree which is making fruit 2 times per year. I mean, in Italy, I don't know. Okay, so we are fine with the almonds. So as you can see, I grated the almonds like it was the cheese. And now we can prepare the citrus. So orange. What we need to do is just to open, making a slice of orange. So you open the orange, make a slice, and you need to remove very carefully all the, obviously the skin, the zest, and as much as you can the white part, because it's the bitter, is what brings the bitterness. So we don't like this in our dish. Okay, and then you need to cut as small as possible, like this, in pieces. For this one, small. So the orange has to be chopped really thin. This way, okay, in very small pieces. And then you add to the mixer. Okay. Okay, then you can do also another slice. This orange is very big, so that's why usually I say 1 orange, but for this one, just 2 slices are enough. So you can peel this way again.
Can I talk a little bit about the Italian selection and how new it is?
Yes.
Yeah. So everybody knows the Italian selection was just started this past December. So it's a very new company. And Marco approached some investors and said that he had a great idea. There were a lot of small boutique family-owned wineries that some of them have been around for generations, but never were able to really have their wines present in the United States because of their size. So these 3 investors backed Marco and Carlo Farini, both wine consultants, to travel all over Italy and Sicily and pick out these wines. So initially there were 11 wines, and now there are another 7 coming over to the United States. So basically it's never going to really be sold in retail because some of the productions are only 1,000 bottles a year. So the only way really that you can get the wine is through events like this. We can give you a website where you can order it. Or if you join the Italian Selection has a wine club, which is really a lot of fun because they have events similar to this, but you're really working with the producers at each winery, and they'll present every month a different winery, and you meet the producers, hear their stories, and it's interesting because it's more than just joining a normal wine club. There's a lot of history and idea sharing. So that's just a little bit about it.
Okay, thank you. Now, you see, that's the next step. We have to take the lemon and just putting some lemon zest inside. Beautiful. That's a great flavor. Wow. Okay, not too much, otherwise it's become too bitter. And now you have to add the important ingredient, which is the organic extra virgin olive oil.
Marco, do you recommend a specific type of olive oil? Is it cold press? Is it first press?
Yes, I mean, cold press and first press is a little bit, just for giving an explanation. So cold press has to be cold press when you do an extra virgin olive oil, because it means that the extraction is made by centrifuge, not by temperature. Because when you do with when you heat the oil, it's separating because of the temperature, but it's losing all the polyphenols, so the good properties. So then you cannot call extra virgin olive oil. The extra virgin olive oil, the separation of the three parts of the oil, which is the water, the fat, and the solid, because when you crush the olive, there is also the pin, needs to be done with the centrifuge. So yes, it has to be cold press, but it comes along when it's an extra virgin olive oil. First press, yes, because still, when you do the first press and you do the centrifuge, you have the separation, and then you don't need to do a second press to do like another, because that happens when you use the temperature, which costs less, but is not a good olive oil. So, and when it's organic, it's even better, because obviously they don't use any treatment on the olives.
So the Raleigh's actually added one more question about the olive oil. Is there a region that you prefer to use over another region of Italy?
Yes, I like personally the Sicilian extra virgin olive oil coming from Monte Blei, because it's from a higher elevation and by the sea. So you have the both benefit, and you have both benefits of the elevation. So it keeps like more polyphenols, so it's greener, but also with the sea breeze, which is enriching the taste of the olives. So that's for me. Then obviously the one from Sardinia, the one from Puglia, Calabria. So generally, I like the olive oil from southern Italy, because there's a lower acidity and a higher amount of polyphenols. That there are the famous one like the Tuscan, like the Hungarian, that are also fantastic. But my favorite is first Sicily, then Sardinia, and Puglia.
Thank you.
And Marco, I listed the Feriato olive oil because that's one of my favorites from traveling over there. Mm-hmm. And it is a little bit expensive. I think it's around $20 a bottle, but I don't use it for cooking. I just use it for seasoning and salads, and it's great. I think we have the bottle here if we wanted to.
Yes, I always say to the people, and don't blame me for what I'm saying, that it's better to save money on a bottle of wine rather than on a bottle of olive oil for your health. Because if you drink a cheap wine, maybe it can be some sulfites, you have a little bit of headache, and that's it. So, but it doesn't hurt your health. If you drink a bad olive oil, it goes rancid very, 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 very easy. You don't feel it, and while a good olive oil is antioxidant because of the polyphenols, a bad olive oil is oxidant. So it's putting in your body a lot of free radicals because of the rancid activity. So don't buy. I mean, if you want to buy for cooking, okay, but for putting on the salad or something, buy an olive oil very expensive. Even because a bottle of wine you drink in a day, a bottle of olive oil you can use in 3-4 months, because you put a little bit every time. So still, it's a good investment. Vero, Gina?
Correct.
Okay.
I think we've tried enough in our travels where you can actually taste the difference in some of the good olive oils.
Okay, so I'm working on the pesto, which is practically ready. You have to smash it a little bit, just to make the orange juice coming out and becoming a part Obviously, you don't have to put salt because the capers, anyway, even if you soak in the water for such a long time, but still there is some salt inside left. So it's better not to add any salt. Okay, so I would say that our pesto Mediterranean is ready, but it's not ready yet because there are other passages. So we put this aside. Now what we do, we start making the pasta. I'm just moving some water from here to here. Okay. And we have to add some. Now I'm moving the camera a little bit closer to the fire, so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, Gina.
Yes,
Okay.
perfect. We can see it.
Perfect. Okay. So we put some salt in the water.
You never add salt until it's boiling, correct?
Okay.
Is that correct?
Just a small pinch, and we are using this rumo pasta. But before putting the pasta, we need to toast. We need to brown the breadcrumb because it's another element of this dish. So just prepare here one moment. Because, some water here. Ok. Allora, qua posta potenza. Dialetto muscolare soffritto. Okay, so now what we are doing, we are toasting the breadcrumb.
Are those breadcrumbs from old bread or did you get them from a
Yes.
store?
No, it's the one that you find in the supermarket. And in the meantime, we put our pasta rumo, which are spaghettoni. I'm using the spaghetti grossi, which is number 221, but in the recipe you have also all the other sizes that you can use. So we put our spaghetti in the pan. You have to do like this, spring and then open. So that's why they're coming this way. And in the meantime, we are preparing our breadcrumb. So to toast the breadcrumb is just needed to do like this. You can feel with your hands that is going, and then you can smell it when it's ready. Now, in this you will understand from the classes how is important the starch that is made by the pasta holder. Okay, the bread is going, and in the meantime, we start preparing our base for finishing the pasta inside with the pesto, which is in one of these pans. So I can use this a little bit wok style, which I like to use. Okay, and here we put our garlic cloves, the one that is red. I like to do aglio camicia, so putting the garlic inside, like with the we say with the skin. You have just to crush it with your hands. You put inside, and you put some some extra virgin olive oil. Even because this garlic then has to be removed.
So you put it in with the skin already, like still on the garlic.
Yes. It's called in Italy. It's called aglio camicia. So it means garlic with a shirt, which
And why do you do, Marco, why do you do that? Why do you put it in with the skin? Because you take it out?
Yes, because I take it out, and it's partially releasing the flavor of the garlic, so it's kind of protecting
Not
to give
too
all
strong.
this heavy taste of the
Okay.
garlic.
And with the breadcrumbs, you didn't put any oil or anything in that pan. You're just
No,
browning it?
no. Just browning it.
Browning on the heat. Okay.
See, yes, because for this recipe, you just need to be brown and that's it, because we call the cheese of the poor people. But not in this case, because we also have the cheese, but in the past, for the peasants, they don't have money to buy cheese, or maybe they were doing only some kind of pecorino, but they cannot have like cheese like Parmesan. They were using the breadcrumb on the top, pretending it was cheese. So that's why it's called the cheese.
I remember hearing that story. That story for sure.
Okay, in the meantime, I'm start smelling the garlic, which is going here, and when I let you know when it's the time to practically to remove it. Now our background is practically ready. You see the color is perfect, so it's becoming brown. Then you need to take off from the fire, because otherwise you burn it. Maybe a few seconds before, so it's become like perfectly brown, like this. In the meantime, the garlic is start going. So we take a spoon, or we can also remove with this. One thing I love is the smell of the garlic when it's frying in the extra virgin oil. Lo vedi, Gina? Can you see it?
We can't see in the pan, but we
Okay.
cannot see in the pan, but how long do you wait for it to brown?
Yeah, I mean, look. Can you see?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm
now I
removing
see it.
this. Okay.
That's good to know, because a lot of people don't like garlic. I know your wife doesn't either, and my husband doesn't. Not that they don't like it.
You know that, eh?
Yes, I remember that.
Okay. If you use this tool, we call pinza, it's very useful because you can first remove the skin and not the avoid that is burning. You can leave the garlic a few minutes later, and then you can remove the garlic as well with this. Okay, it's back here. Okay, remember that the time of the cooking of the spaghetti is 12 minutes, and we cook part in the water and part in the pan when we finish it. So now I remove all the garlic, and so what we can do now, we put here the pasta when is like in about 3-4 minutes. I think that I can even.
So the pasta, you cook it al dente and then you finish cooking it?
Yes, exactly. So now is the time to put the pasta here. You will see the same system of that I'm using for the carpet paper. I put a little bit lower. It's very important you simply transfer the spaghetti from the pan, from the boiling pan to this. Okay.
Sometimes, Marco, when you're doing fresh pasta, you use that spider spatula to lift the pasta
Exactly.
out of the water. Probably hard to learn that stove.
Okay, now what we do, we have to add a little bit of the boiling water, which contains starch. So this operation is what makes in common our two recipe today. So this pesto and the cashew paper, even if it's a little bit different procedure.
Marco, can you explain a little bit of what adding the starch water does to the flavor of the pasta?
Actually, you are cooking the pasta. You're finished to put the pasta in the pan with the starch of the same boiling water where you put the pasta before, because in this way is also going with the extra virgin olive oil and garlic. So it's taking the flavor of the extra virgin olive oil and garlic, and the starch is creating a little bit of cream, as we call it, while the pasta is cooking. So the pasta is taking more flavors rather than going only in the boiling water. Now is the time after like it depends on how al dente you like the pasta. I like the pasta almost raw. That's me because I'm from Naples and that's the way we eat the pasta. So it's very al dente. But still, it depends on how much. So I put the pasta here after like 5 minutes of cooking in the boiling water, and then you should put the other 5 minutes here among this cooking time with like pasta water, and now that I'm putting also the paste inside. But if you want, you can leave maybe 2-3 minutes more in the pasta. So instead of 5, you do 8, and then you do all the procedure that I'm doing. So it's going to become probably the regular cooking time, which I usually do 2-3 minutes earlier. That's my value. So now it's perfect. See the al dente style is perfect. So you can wait another couple of minutes, and then we can add the pesto, and at the end we're gonna put some parmigiano and the breadcrumb on the top. So it's gonna be right now the last. When you smell it, you smell even like now the pasta would be fantastic. You can put a little bit of peperoncino, and it's like aglio olio peperoncino. So it's a kind of base for a lot of dishes. When you cook like this, then you can also add some tomato sauce or cherry tomato and finish with cherry tomatoes, or only parsley and a little bit of chili pepper, like peperoncino italiano, and it's also fantastic. Or you can do something with your fantasy, like you can just put some lemon zest, so you have the flavor of the lemon, which is together with the extra virgin olive oil and garlic, it goes very well together. So that's a base for many things you can do in your child. Okay, at this point we can add what we do. We have to switch off the fire. You see now here inside there is like a little cream, so it's becoming like a creamy. You see?
Yeah.
And,
Marco, how do you know when it's ready? Do you taste it, or you just by look?
Yeah, you can taste. I don't, because I see from the consistency. So I like because I see that it's al dente. I mean, right away I like it a little bit raw inside. Okay. Now when you're at the pesto, you need to switch off this. So that's to 0, or you can move to another location. And now it's time to add the pesto. Can you see? No.
Yes, we can see.
It's very important that you put the pesto now and not before, because technically the pesto doesn't have to cook. Doesn't do.
So Marco, is it pretty standard in Italy to cook and finish off pasta like the way you did? So you boil it in a
Yes.
large pot and then you bring it over more to a wok kind of.
Yes, yes. To finish the pasta, maybe sometimes you don't see because in the restaurant you in the back, but that's the way we do it.
That's
And
a
now
good
is the
tip.
time to grate the Parmigiano on top. Here. Remember, it's very important that all this last operation has to be done not on the fire, so when it's switched off. Good morning. It's fresh, excellent for the summertime. Now I show you how it's here in the pan. Now, but now I put in the plate so we can add the breadcrumb at the end. I hate to do what I'm doing because it's not my style. It's nice if you want to do a bit of performance with this tool.
What's not your style?
To do this, you know what I'm doing with the
Twirling it?
yeah, putting it here on the spoon, rolling and putting on the plate like this. They do this, the chef, but then I destroy everything because I don't like these fake things. So
Someone's asking about your options on Parmesan cheese. Is there any certain Parmesans that you like for certain things?
yes, I use this. Look how beautiful is the sauce. And I like Parmigiano Reggiano. This one is a 40 months age, so which is a really good age Parmigiano. And okay, so you can put this, and then you can add on top the breadcrumb. The toasted bread. Oh, sorry, the untoasted. Okay. Okay, and now your dish is complete. So what we have is a spaghettoni di Gragnano. So we use a pasta rum that we like with a pesto Mediterraneo with citrus, so orange, lemon, capers, arugula, and all the procedure that we said. And we put the cheese in the pan with when we switch off the fire. And we put the toasted breadcrumb on the top at the end. Now, Gina, you know that we need to taste what we do.
I was going to say, you have to do your traditional, even my grandson imitates the way you taste something.
I take a glass of wine too, because it's important.
Marco, that looks absolutely delicious.
Yeah,
It really does. I love the combination. I love the
It smells
combination of
delicious. Yes.
citrus with the capers too.
What a nice summer.
Okay, prima il vino. Okay, now. See? It's like a cream because of the starch, because of the cheese they put inside, and a little bit of the breadcrumb. Unbelievable. Thanks, Marco, that I didn't have a dinner before, so I can. It's absolutely delicious.
And you're gonna eat dinner at midnight, I guess, huh? It's after midnight.
We call it
12:30.
spaghetti a mezzanotte. Don't remind me the time. So I lose my internal work.
Yeah, everybody's saying it looks delicious. They're salivating.
Yeah.
They wish they could smell it. Wish we could try it.
I'm sorry.
You can
We need to do-
tell it's creamy just by when you were like twirling it on your
Yeah.
fork. You could tell how creamy that looks.
Right.
Yeah.
It's creamy. It's absolutely creamy. That's the trick. And
I will say when you travel there, because Marco knows how to pick restaurants that you'd never normally go to because it's not really a tour, it's something custom. But when the first time we went, we came back and my husband said, I don't think I can eat locally because everything's fresh, no preservatives in anything. And it was very hard to come back and try to switch and cook in the United States. That's what we enjoy.
And then the vermentino is extending the flavor of what you have in your mouth. Because even inside the vermentino, you have a little bit of citrus taste at the end, at the back of your palate. And then with this citrus pesto, Mediterranean pesto, they are enhancing themselves in the taste. So it's absolutely amazing. And you know, the secret of this is that you need to like what you do. I really like what I'm doing, so I'm really enjoying. I'm feeling pleasure on cooking, tasting, and pairing. So otherwise, I think that you cannot cook well if you don't like what you eat. That's the first. That's the first thing. And maybe Eric, sometime if you borrow me or someone of you can invite me in a beautiful kitchen, I can do a cooking class live. People can come, we can taste all together. I bring the wine, we can do a big party.
Oh, that'd be great.
Huh?
That would be great.
Okay.
Yes, we actually did that. Marco was here for almost a month. In
Vermentino
June.
is the grape varietal. Yes, the Vermentino is a grape varietal and is usually coming from Sardinia, from Tuscany, and from Liguria. The real origin is from Liguria. Liguria is a region in the north of Italy facing the Mediterranean Sea. So it went down to Sardinia and also to Tuscany. So you can easily find also Vermentino from Toscana, but the taste is different. So the Vermentino from Toscana has a higher acidity and is much more aromatic. This one is more mineral, full body, and less acidic, but still with this little citrus and taste at the end, which is bringing to this dish. Eric, let's see if maybe if it's still. Can you explain the wine label? What is Oriu? Yes. So this Oriu is it was technically the basket where they were putting the grape inside. It's in Sardinian dialect. I don't know if Alberto is still there. Alberto, sei lì ancora?
I don't think he's with us right now.
Okay, so basically, Oriu is you know the basket made with come si chiama? Hay. What's the name?
Straw.
Like
Straw.
yeah? Straw. Yes,
Straw
but from the olive trees. So it's
Oh.
made with the little olive branches, and there are like the local artisans that are making them. And so when the peasants were going to the harvest, we were putting the grape in this basket, which in Sardinian dialect means Oriu. And Veor is also like the old Greek name from this grape, from where the Vermentino is coming from. The bottle is pretty cool. It was designed by Piero, so Alberto's father, and he would like to do something different because he found some old port bottle in his house that was coming probably from his father or grandfather, and he would like to use the same shape of this port bottle that he found in his house. Because you need to know that Sardinia is an island which had a lot of influence from Spain and Portugal because it's facing west. And when you are in Sardinia, you are halfway between Italy and Spain. If you take a boat from Sardinia, you go west in 12 hours, you arrive in Barcelona. In 12 hours, you arrive in the coast of Tuscany. That's why they speak also the Catalan dialect. So a lot of all the articles of the Sardinian dialects are like in Spain. And the dialect itself is like the Catalan, because from Barcelona, there was the last domination, but it was very late. It was in the 1800s. It was from the fishermen and the people that when they lost the battle against Castilla y Leon, so with Madrid, with the Castellanos, they had to escape, and they moved. Most of them moved to Sardinia. That's why there is this big Catalan heritage in Sardinia. Even in the cooking, they do the lobster Catalan style because it was the fish. The people in Sardinia 100 years ago, they don't know how to fish. They were shepherds. Imagine that in Sardinia there is 5 sheep every human being, so the ratio is 1 to 5. That's why it's the biggest producer of pecorino cheese in the world. But still, so most of their life and the economy was based on the cheese and on the wool from the sheep. Then the fishermen arrived from Barcelona, from Catalonia, and they brought the culture of fishing, and they were also know how to fish lobsters, and then became one of the signature dish now from Sardinia. That, by the way, the vermentino was very well. And
now that I look at it, Marco, and around the square label looks like a basket weave. So
that's what he was saying.
Yeah, it ties it in.
Yeah. Okay, and if you want, we can move to the Cano now. We can move to the Cano. Sorry?
Go right ahead. Alberto's still not with us, so why don't you take the share a little bit more about the Cano now?
Yeah, ciao Alberto.
He's not with us.
Is with us or no?
No, he's not. So
No,
it's
he's not.
Okay, I can.
No,
yeah,
he's probably still receiving his award, so we don't want to take his glory away.
Okay,
Yeah.
but okay, so the bottle is same style because they have the same bottle for all their wines, and the Cano now is originally is a Spanish grape, is a Garnacha from Spain. So that's why the Spanish also brought the vines, and not only the lobsters, fishing tradition. It came from Spain in the 1600, and then he established his roots in Sardinia, and then he went a little bit also to Tuscany, and it's called Pugnatello, and down to Sicily, and it's called Perricone, but it's the same origin from Garnacha or Garnache in France. Cano now it developed is growing in Dorgali. Dorgali is in the center of Sardinia, in the middle of nowhere. You drive there and you see these fantastic vineyards surrounded by the mountains. So it's very hot during the summer, but it's also very cold during the winter. So it's ideal for a red wine. But where they produce the Cano now still is a little bit outside this area and is on the volcanic soil. So is a Cano now, the one from Dorgali is like a fruit bomb, because it's also during the summer it's very hot, so it's ripening very fast. Their Cano now is very soft, it's very pleasant. There's a high minerality given by the obsidian, which is the typical old volcanic soil, because Sardinia is not clearly volcanic like Sicily with the Etna volcano, but was a part of the island was from a volcanic eruption, but we are talking about probably 500,000 years ago. But still, you can have this stone of obsidian, which is black or gray, and they're giving a huge minerality to the wine. Because in the soil you have a blend of minerals like multivitamin, zinc, potassium, magnesium, a lot of vitamins. So, and when you drink this Cano now, you are really surprised because you feel the tannins, obviously, because Cano now grape itself in the skin has tannins, is a pigment, so that are released to the wine. But on the other hand, it's very soft and pleasant. That's why it's very elegant. You can drink not only with like the suckling pig, typical from Sardinia, that goes with the original Cano now, but you can have also with the cacio e pepe that we are doing now, or also with simply like pasta with tomato sauce, or chicken or any other. I would like also with if it's a little bit chilled, that goes very well also with the seafood soup with tomato sauce. But I need to drink a little bit of this Cano now. I don't see you in the screen because I have from my remote control, but I hope you are drinking. tasting. So you can smell typical of Caronau is the prune, the prune taste, smell. It's fantastic, soft, elegant, longer finish. You keep on feeling the prune taste in your mouth. It's absolutely amazing. And it doesn't go in wood, so it's only stainless steel. That's why it's even more surprising, because from your mouth you're thinking that maybe it's aged in barrel, which is not. So it's only given by the nature, this taste. Wow.
Marco,
Bellissimo.
we have a
Yeah.
question from Carly up in Buffalo. What is the classification DOC? What does that mean?
In Italy, in Europe in general, we have three classifications that are IGP, DOC, and DOCG. And there are three different levels of seal of quality guarantee on the grape and on the winemaking. So IGP, which is the lowest, it just recognized that the grape is indigenous from the last 100 years. So sometimes you have an IGP, which is originally a French grape varietal that will move to this territory, but after 100 years, you can consider indigenous. DOC is a little bit higher level, stricter level of certification, which the grape has to be local since ever. I mean, not imported, so not with 100 years. So it has to be like Vermentino or Caronau. Yes, maybe it was Garnacha at the beginning, but still it never changed the name once it was coming in Italy, and this is an Italian name. So that's why you give DOC, and the DOC is given to the area where this grape gets the best result. Okay, so you can have Caronau DOC from Dorgali, and then you can have the DOCG, which is an even further stricter certification that is not only certifying the origin of the grape, but is obliging the producer to not to buy from other producer. So the producer has to be placed in the area of the DOC and has to use their own grape. So that's why you can have the DOCG, and then at that point there are even more rules and regulation to do this top quality wine of a certain specific area of production. I hope I was clear, because sometimes these rules are not so clear, but I hope to.
No, I think that makes a lot of sense. One other quick question. The Caronau is still relatively young. Is there a recommendation how long it should age in someone's cellar?
Okay, this one actually is made for be drinking in the next 3 years. So that's why we don't they don't age in barrels. So it's only stainless steel. So basically, so the purpose is to create a Caronau that is young and is pleasant, is elegant, is soft, it is not overpowered. So that's why I would say you can drink from the time of the bottling in the next 5 years, but don't go over that, because otherwise you need to, you know, that to age a wine longer in the bottle, especially for a red, they always need a little bit of aging in the barrel. So they say that every year in the barrel is a good 10 years in the bottle, pretty much. Yeah. So in this case, this one, I suggest drink the current vintage, which is always the best. That explains exactly.
Thank you for that. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, so if you have another question about the wine, otherwise I can start proceeding on the cachet paper, which is very simple, but also the coordination of the cooking is very important. The ingredients are peppercorn, pecorino cheese, I would say that, you know what, I would use the same pasta, so the same spaghettone rummo, so it goes very well. And that's it. So it's very simple. So now I move this, and we can put it here. Okay. What we need to do basically is okay. It's nice. It says ciao, so it's an Italian. Okay. Let's put pasta potenza.
I love those pots and pans too, Marco. I never saw those in the United States. They're beautiful.
Which one?
Those stainless steel.
Yeah.
That's one thing that surprised me when we went there, how so many kitchens are either rustic or very modern.
In Italy?
Yes, in Italy.
Yes, you're right. So we are here. We are on the modern side.
Yes, definitely. Well, in Milan. Milan
Okay.
is so much like New York.
Okay, so the first operation to do is to prepare the peppercorn. Oh, this is interesting. How do you call this in English? Mallet, something like that.
Yeah, mallet mortar.
Okay. It is pretty complicated because the peppercorn can jump everywhere.
We made this after the first time you showed us, and it is really a much
I'm
stronger
sorry for the
flavor.
noise,
Much stronger flavor when you do that instead of using a grinder or shaker.
Okay, sorry.
So are you just crushing them so it's pretty coarse? Because I think Gina just mentioned, like, we're usually used to grinders that, you know, can get pretty fine. That seems like it would be a much coarser version of peppercorns.
Right, and it makes the taste much stronger.
Okay.
Yeah, the first time I made it, we put a little bit too much pepper.
Yes, we did.
So someone asked, the Raleighs asked, did they read correct that pecorino cheese is from sheep? Is that a sheep cheese?
I believe so. We can ask him when he's.
Yes, it's a
Pecorino
sheep
sheep.
meat. Yeah, that's why most of the pecorino is produced in Sardinia.
Okay.
And so basically, the Sardinian one is the most 5 sheep every human being.
Yep.
So,
that makes sense, right?
Yes, but when you go to Sardinia, you're gonna see, when you go around in the car, you see all these sheep everywhere. So they are the first producer of sheep's milk, but also whole. Say together. Okay, so you can keep on going with that, and you put this one is going. Yes, and we switch on this one here. Scegliere la zona, posta potenza top. Okay. Now we need to toast the peppercorn.
Without olive oil, just right in the pan, correct?
No olive oil.
No,
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
The same way you brown the breadcrumbs.
No, same way. So no. You can mix if you want. I put this big one, and you can mix also with the smaller one of peppercorn. So you mix of the two. The smell is absolutely fantastic. See what I'm doing? Ah, c'è un profumo incredibile.
So how long do you know, Marco, before it, like, so when you're toasting the peppercorns, when do you know that you've reached that point where you shouldn't toast them any longer?
Usually with the smell, but then you see that on the pan it's creating a little brown on the top of the pan, so it means that it's right. You see here the color.
Yep.
And it's when they start smelling. Is also balsamic taste. Now it's very important here in the pasta. You don't have to put any salt because the pecorino is very salty itself. So you don't have to put any salt here in the pasta. Now is the time you put the pasta inside. No salt. Okay. Even in this case, and in this case even more, the starch is important for this recipe.
You know what's interesting, Marco? When we cook our pasta, I don't know about everybody else, but I always take the long pasta and break it in half. But you put it in whole and then just smash it after. I don't know if that
So
makes
you cut the no.
Yeah.
What do? You break before the pasta?
Yeah, we break it. Yeah, we break it.
No, because otherwise the spaghetti becomes shorter. So, then they go down and they become like any other pasta to work with. Okay, so now what we need to do, we put this peppercorn back to the fire, and we just need to put some of the boiling water to create. Then you need to go to do this little bit.
So you're using the starch water in with the
Peppercorn.
the toasted peppercorns.
Yes, yes.
Marco, we lost your picture. It's just your name.
Okay, sorry. I don't know why. Okay.
There we go. Now we see you.
Okay, now we are going to put a little bit more of this here. Okay. And we need to start grating the pecorino cheese in the bowl. Do you see me, Gina?
You're good,
Gina?
Marco. You're good.
Sorry. Yes, it wouldn't unmute.
So Marco, I know when we were talking about this program, you know, a couple of months ago, you had mentioned the Searching for Italy program with Stanley Tucci, and when they were in, I think it was when they were in Rome, one of the dishes they featured was this, right? They featured
Cacio e pepe.
Cacio e pepe, and my wife and I were actually inspired by that episode to try making this, and I had never heard about it, and it was absolutely delicious. Tell us, I know you know the chef who made it and was featured in that episode. Can you tell us a little bit about that and how, you know, are there different types of this dish, or is it all pretty standard?
Okay, so usually the cacio e pepe that I love is the one that I do at Armando al Pantheon.
Yep.
Which is this restaurant that was also featured in Stanley Tucci. So the owner, Armando, was the grandfather who opened this restaurant, but Claudio is the chef and the son of and the grandson of Armando, who's running the restaurant, and he's using the original recipe of his father. And the pecorino was usually coming from the hills at the north of Rome, and because they were giving was the baratto, so they were instead of paying for the rent of the land, they were giving the pecorino cheese. So that's why there was an overwhelming of pecorino cheese in Rome for a lot of time. Do we have this recipe? I don't remember. Gina, did you send the recipe of the cacio e pepe?
Yes, we did.
Sharon, I'll make sure that you receive it again. I'll send them again tonight.
Okay. Now it's very important that what we are doing the cream. So we grated the pecorino inside the bowl, as you can see. Now we put some boiling water with the starch inside, and we need to create we say that the cream. So you need to use a whisk like that. Okay, you see the way it has to be. I can also grate a little bit more pecorino. This one is a little bit fresh, so it's not. I like a little bit more age. I didn't find the one I love, so because it's sometimes falling apart, but it's okay.
What's in there right now? Cheese and what?
Huh?
Cheese and the water, the only two things in there?
Two ladle of water and
2 ladles of water, okay.
Yeah.
The pasta water and cheese.
Right.
Yeah.
I always tell people also to notice that you really whisk very, very briskly.
Okay, now is time to put the pasta here. So okay, put it back here and then just go ahead and beans. It has this smell of the peppercorn, almost balsamic, and you need to add a little bit of boiling water here. Okay. In this way, the pasta is taking all the flavors of the pepper. Remember, no olive oil at all. Then,
Marco, while you're whisking that, John asks, is your burner on while you're mixing the ingredients, or is your burner not on?
yeah, because it becomes like a cream in this way. So the pecorino is melting with the boiling water, and it's becoming like a cream.
Okay.
What about the pasta, Marco, the pasta and the pepper on the stove, is that burner on?
Sorry?
Marco, the
Yeah.
pasta with the pepper, is that burner on? It looks like it's on. Your
Yeah,
pasta that's
it's,
in with, is it on?
Yeah, it's on, yes.
Okay. Okay.
It's on,
That's-
and it's taken in this way. You have to, like we did for the other dish, we have to keep on finish to cook in the pan with the boiling water, with the pasta water and the peppercorn that were toasted before. So it's releasing all the flavor of the pepper inside. Put this so it gives a little bit more starch. So for my taste, they are practically ready because I like my bread. But you can leave other like 3-4 minutes. So I will say that after that I will put inside and Okay, now is the time, so it's ready. So you have just to take the pasta and put here. Okay, at this point, if you want, you can also put a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. I like it. And a little bit more of black pepper.
Really making us hungry, Marco. Ray said he wants to have pasta tonight for dinner now after watching this.
Now what you need to do, you have to take a spoon. Take all the beautiful juice, spread on top. And you can finish with a little bit of pecorino grated on top. Voila, and the last touch. Okay. So here we have the pasta cacio e pepe, Marco style, which is the old one, and now I have to try. Too good to say.
Looks delicious.
Delicious.
We can tell you love your food like we do.
And Marco, you make it look so easy. Like watching you make both your pesto and cacio e pepe, you make it look so easy. It looks amazing.
Okay, so as for every dish, it's very important to see how the wine is enlarging and enhancing the taste of the food. The black pepper with the cannonau, amazing. Also the pecorino cheese, but the black pepper is like giving a little bit of black pepper taste to the wine. It's incredible. Fantastic flavor.
Someone's asking, are the grapes grown organically? I know many of the wine companies are.
Yes, and the reason why, because now USDA changed the rules, so we cannot put our European organic farming label, because now they need to certify as a USDA organic, otherwise we cannot put our label. So it takes a lot of time and money. So some wineries, they just prefer to give up for the certification for the US, but it's 100% organic.
Wow.
Marco, can you tell us a little bit about, I put something in the notes about Niche Italy, and you have some tours coming up, but also I shared that all of our tours have been mostly family. The last one was all friends. And basically,
You know, Gina, telling you before that I do what I like, so I'm happy to get my job by doing what I like. So, and I always say to the people that are traveling with us that I'm so happy that they like what I like, so we can share the passion together during the trip. Basically, it's not so difficult. It's just a matter of creating an experience and not a trip. Because a trip, anyone can do a tour. So there are tour operators out there, big companies. So I'm not a competitor with them. But I'm trying to bring my knowledge, what I learned traveling around Italy as a journalist. So discovering the hidden gems, talking with the people, knowing the people, being involved with the people that are showing me what they're doing and what is their heritage. And instead of having the people reading the book, I had the idea to bring the people in the place. So with the same system of creating an emotion, the same that you can have reading a book. So everything you can find in our tour is not open to public. We're gonna meet these old ladies who's making the pastry, that she was a nun in a convent and then she opened her own pastry shop, and she knows me since 30 years, so we can go from the back door and working with her while the people are outside, that she doesn't let other people get in, things like that. But it's just an example. And obviously wine is a part of our tour, but when we visit the winery, we have the experience with the family. So it's not just going there, taste the wine and go. So we hang out with the winemaker, the owner are having us for lunch. So it's really something that you enter in a different mood. That's why I always say that it's a vacation. So it's not a tour de force. So when people are, but we have to wake up early in the morning. No, imagine that we pick beautiful locations. So there are these boutique hotel inside the winery. In the morning, you have this beautiful breakfast on the terrace overlooking the vineyard and the sea. They are fresh prostata cake, fresh fruit, homemade yogurt, the eggs from their chicken. They do the scrambled eggs with the eggs from the chicken that they have in the backyard. So that's so how can I rush the day when you have this kind of piece of heaven? So we go when we need to go at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. So you need to enjoy also the beautiful place where we're gonna stay. That's why I hate some kind of tour, because you go in the hotel only for sleeping and then you don't enjoy the beautiful property where you're staying. So still is like I say roller coaster of emotion. Vero, Gina?
I agree. And I think that with my groups, we especially like that we got a feel for what it's like to live there. And then also the other favorite thing was, doing something you'd never be able to do. Like we had dinner with the Duke and Duchess of Palermo in their palace. I mean, I don't think any tour group normally gets to go there. And the other thing I guess we really enjoyed was being on the water and swimming in the Mediterranean Sea. When we had the young part of our family with us, they just absolutely raved about that. So we went to the Aeolian Islands, which are off of Sicily, and Marco had a friend that redid a beautiful wooden boat, and then we sailed around the islands, and then he also made us lunch in the kitchen, all fresh vegetables and pasta. So it was a unique experience.
Remember the wave that I was advising you? Wave is coming, you listen to me. You didn't move from the front of the boat and
Yeah, it was fun.
And we got it on video.
We did get that on video. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, and also you see it's the same principle of the Italian selection, because me, Carlo Ferlini, and all the people involved in this project, we taking advantage, if there could be an advantage of the pandemic time that we couldn't travel international, but we could only travel domestically. We went to visit every single small winery, sitting down with them and enjoying their hospitality. And there are wineries that are producing 4,000, 5,000 bottles. That's it. Extreme quality, but they don't have the strength to export by themselves. That's why we put together we create a family of producers and brought them to the US. So this wine, maybe in 2 months it's gone, and we have to take other wine because that's the principle. So they are all small producers, and they are happy to work with us, and we are happy to work with them and to introduce to the United States wineries and that are completely unknown. That there is a very small and limited production, and you can only taste this wine if you go there and taste there. Obviously, if you are on a tour, you can do, but still it's difficult to bring the wine back when you are in the winery. So it's much better to have it available here. That's why we did this project that is also an anthropologic project, not only it's not only for selling wine, it's for letting the people understand a philosophy of making wine.
Well, Marco,
so to talk earlier, we had we sometimes do some wine dinners here, Papa Joe's, Vaccaro's, Etna, and Little Italy. We've had quite a few where Marco actually presents and does more about the wine, but the chefs, he helps the chefs pick out the menu. But as Marco mentioned, a couple of my friends while Marco was here had, a backyard dinner and 52 people, and Marco brought the wines and they cooked, and it was just a fun night. So that's
after the storm was past, you remember?
Yeah.
It was a huge storm. And at 6 o'clock we can make it.
Yeah.
Okay,
so Marco, do you have time for a few more questions?
Gina, I see that some people would like to be added in a mailing list for the trip, okay. Or so I don't know if Eric, you can help us to put them in our mailing list for the trip. Okay.
So what I'll do is right after we're done, and once I get the Zoom recording, I'm going to send everyone an email that has the recipes, the link to the Italian selection that highlights the winery and the wines that we talked about this evening. And if you are interested in learning more and being on the mailing list or the email list, please just respond to that, and I will then forward that along to Marco so he can add you to the mailing list for Niche Italy and the Italian selection. So I will help facilitate for that for sure. I know it's getting late, Marco, on Italian time, but if you're open to it, I wanted to allow people to ask their own questions of you, if you're okay with that for a few minutes.
Yes, absolutely.
So I'm going to go ahead and unmute everyone. If you had a question, go ahead and raise your hand and I will call on you. And then at the end of that, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. So I'm going to go ahead and unmute everyone and see how we'll allow you to unmute yourself. So go ahead, and if you have any questions, go ahead and ask Marco.
Hey, Marco, my name is Ron Raleigh, and I have a question for you about where specifically you are located at in terms of going to all your adventures throughout the Italian countryside.
I'm based in Sicily, so that's where my family lives now. But I travel all over the country. So my mom lives in Piedmont, my brother is in Rome, and I don't mind. I was like last week I was in Puglia. Then I brought my family back to Sicily. Then I took a flight to Milan, and tomorrow I'm coming back to Palermo because tomorrow there is the final of the European Soccer Championship, Italy versus England. So it's a big game. It's the final, so we are ready tomorrow.
You gotta have priorities, right? You have to have priorities. You gotta cheer for Italy.
Yes. Tomorrow is if you want to see on ESPN, it's at your 3 p.m. If you want to support Italy, it would be nice.
Any other questions? You should all be able to unmute yourself if you would like to.
Marco, someone was asking, is the Italian selection a wine club? So if you want to talk a little bit about that.
Yes, basically, because it's something with very niche, like niche Italy. So the Italian selection, we had to create a wine club where we can involve people and involving them in private events, selling event, and also with a lot of information and knowledge about the wine, the grape, and the families. that are behind this brand. So, and we select for you very unknown and very rare bottle of wine and sending to your home every month, 2 months, or 3 months. So it's like a regular wine club, but it's the only one that has only small Italian producer that produce no more than 10,000 bottles per vintage.
And I like the fact myself that you don't have to have it every month. You can have it every 2 months, every 3 months. So, and you can have 2 bottles, 4 bottles, 6 bottles. And then at time to time, there will be a wine of the month or some kind of special offering. So once you're a member, you're able to buy those sale items as well, or those wines of the month.
Does anyone have any other questions for Marco?
So I have another one real quick. How do
go
you
ahead.
choose the places where you select the wines from, and how do you make those connections with those local wineries all across Italy?
Part is coming for the tour itself, because when we do the tour of a region, I used to select small wineries that people cannot find in the United States. So it started from there, because visiting these small estates, a lot of people, when they came there, they tasted the wine, they loved the wine, and say, how can we have it to the States? And then they tried to ship from the winery to United States, and it was a mess. So that's why I say, I would like to bring this small producer in the US, putting them together and bring it over in a warehouse in the US. So it started all from this experience, selecting these for the tour, and then now bringing to the US. And then also there is a very good friend of mine who's Carlo Ferrini, which is one of the top winemaker in Italy, was the top winemaker in the world for wine enthusiasts for 3 years in a row, 2006, 7, and 8. Was one of the maker of the most important Brunello di Montalcino, Super Tuscan. But he's a friend's family. It's a family friend. So he helped me a lot in the selection of the winery. So some of them were already selected by me because of the tour that we do. So I was visiting in my site inspection, and also in my book that I did in the past. And part of them were coming from the experience of Carlo Ferrini. So it was a combination of the two sources.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Marco, are you close to Termini MNS?
Yes, very close. Palermo is about 15-20 minutes from Termini Merese. And yeah, do you have origin from Termini?
Yeah, that's where my ancestors are from, my mother's side of my family. I've traced my ancestry back to there.
Yeah, and when I do the tour, I also do a lot of genealogy. So like for Gina, in instance, I organize all the genealogy for her when she came to Sicily. So I have people in Sicily, they go to the mayor and they retrieve all the birth certificates from the archive of the city hall. And so when you come to Sicily, we organize a big day with the mayor, you receive your honorary citizenship. It's something that I did in the past. I would like to start again, because it's a very emotional moment, but also it's very interesting to see, because sometimes these records are in the church, not in the city hall, because if the people immigrated before 1880, all the records were in the church. So it's even more difficult, but very challenging.
Yeah,
So John,
and I've got my great-grandfather here on my ancestry from 1858.
So he's in the church for 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had a lot more success on my Italian side than on my Irish side. Let me put it that way.
I'll tell you, it was very interesting for us.
Let me know if you want any help, or if you are planning to come to Sicily. I would be very happy to help to do anything for your genealogy.
I absolutely have to do that. I've been to the Tuscany region and to the Napoli region, but I need to get to the Sicilian region. Yeah.
Yes. So if you want to, yeah. yeah, again, if you can be in touch with us, and then we can really, if you are planning to come, you know, we are the big expert of Sicily.
Yeah.
I mean, my father was a mayor of Catania for 10 years, so that's why I had access to a little bit of the files.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Good to
Okay.
know.
So very nice
Thank
to
you.
meet you.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
If
So
no more
if you don't
questions, we
have
can let
more
Marco eat his
question,
pasta and go to sleep on a full stomach.
okay.
It's 1:30
And
over
I
there.
would love to do something. Yeah, I would love to organize something whenever it's possible when I'm coming back to maybe live. So maybe in a house or somewhere, it would be nice to get together and cook together.
Well,
I
Marco,
included-
thank you.
included my
And Gina,
email,
thank you
too.
for doing this for us. We really,
You're
really
most welcome.
appreciate it.
Yeah, we enjoyed it.
It was fun.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Grazie.
Thank you, everyone. Grazie, and hope to see you soon in the US. And really, you were fantastic, and I will see when we're gonna meet next time how you will prepare the cacio e pepe and the pesto. Okay,
There we go.
I bring the wine. Okay.
All right.
All right. Sounds like a
All
deal.
right.
Thank you again.
Sounds good, Marco.
Okay.
Thank you.
Grazie.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Grazie.
Marco.
Ciao,
Ciao.
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 Buonanotte. Ciao.
Andiamo time.
Andiamo time. Yes.
Andiamo time. Now it's andiamo time.
Ciao. Now yes, it's andiamo time. Okay. Ciao. Grazie. Ciao.
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 Ciao.